That's one of the key reasons that we cannot have just this one quarter at a time view of things, because the job that we have to do, it takes much longer than that.
Yeah, it does definitely. And even if you just think about when you're making a decision yourself that's high value, you want to make sure you're consultative. There are some people that are impulsive, but again, it's really slowed down when, all eyes are on you and you're scared of stuffing it up, especially if you're changing and transitioning into something that's a new provider. So one of the things that I just wanted to take a step back from the hamster wheel and the rat race, and there's a rodent theme going on in this talk, isn't there? Um, but it's just to present this framework that I work on a lot with my clients to get them to regroup. Because what we tend to do as marketeers is just get stuff done. And so we're on this complete hamster wheel of activity, trying to get the next customer in the door under this pressure for these short-term data metrics. And as Kerry said, marketing shouldn't really be measured on those because it takes a long period of time for anybody to know, like, and trust us. So what I always say is we've got to take a step back, actually. It's a bit like pulling the arrow back. So what we do is we keep firing the arrows, but, let's take some time and step back. Let's get into market. In fact, actually, before that, we start with this house where we have to understand exactly what we're trying to do as a company. How are we going to make these decisions? What is the purpose, the mission, the values? And I'm not going to labor any more than that. But, as we just heard in the previous talk, like, get connected with your CEO. Like, what are they trying to achieve? And when you've got that, then we go down a level and we say, okay, strategically, what are the bets that we're going to place that we need to do to drive this forward, this strategic direction? And often it's not something that, as Kerry said, is going to happen in the next few months. No decisions are made, executed, and delivered upon in that time. But what we have to do is think, okay, well, we have to go into market and we have to orient ourselves and understand this market reality and ask ourselves, well, why are we here? What are our challenges? What are we trying to be? Who are we trying to target? Because I've been in lots of different organizations where you hear, well, we're for everybody. Well, if you're for everybody, you're really for nobody. So we have to get super laser clear on what we're trying to build, what we're trying to achieve, and get these real deep market and customer insights, because that's our job as a marketeer. Nobody else is tasked or able to do that. That's our job. And so we have to be able to understand exactly what that market is telling us, whether it's the customer, the competitors, innovation, AI adoption, whatever it might be, and then look at how we can bring that into the strategic bets that we need to deliver. And that's where we then get stuck on this pipeline trap of, well, let's just go. We know that this is happening and these competitors are doing this and this customer said this, and so much activity. But actually what we need to do is take some time to sit and breathe and say, well, actually, what is the impact over the activity that we need to deliver? Instead of vanity metrics, what is the value? What are the revenue models we're trying to achieve? What is the market positioning? And how can we kill all of the low impact tactics that we're currently delivering? So it's about saying no to as much stuff as what you're saying yes to. And then our job as marketeers is to go out and sell this into the business. And so many of us as marketeers are sitting in our silos and being sort of bashed for these revenue quarters. But if we can go out and talk at this strategic level, we'll be able to get some consensus and some agreement about what the key factors are that we need to be delivering in our tactics, which is then where we get off the hamster wheel, we stop driving all this crazy activity, and we do the things that really laser focused into less tactics, way more value, because we've done the homework, we've pulled the arrow back, we've understood what we're trying to do, so we can shoot forward. And so I believe that we've got to stop fixating on MQLs and instead focus on audience engagement, high intent signals, understanding that stakeholder matrix, understanding how buyers behave, understanding this buyer journey that Kerry's been researching really thoroughly and inexhaustibly. This stuff changes a lot. So I love your work, Kerry. Big fan, big fan. And so I think that that's where we need to get off the hamster wheel, but we have to do a job of educating those around us. And Kerry, I'm going to bring you in here because we had a really good chat yesterday about why is marketing tasked? Why are we all working on these quarterly targets, and it comes from something that actually isn't even marketing related. It comes from board sort of setting those priorities, but how can we push back really?